Ovajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Mukam karoti vakshalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun Dinataram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikai Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Iti Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhara Goswami Iti Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Vamana Goswami Iti Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singha Rupane Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshaviti Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namani Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha namo mahabhajanyaya krishna prema pradayate krishnaya krishna chaitanya namane gaudatishe namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulsi Devi Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. On this divine disappearance day of two very exalted Mahabhagavata Vaishnava personalities, Acharyas, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vamana Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj, I offer my unlimited Dandavat pranams at their divine lotus feet. And I pray for their causeless mercy that we can speak something about their divine glories, qualities, service, preaching, personality, everything. First of all, I'm offering my Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Shata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet. My most worshipful beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Shata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Shata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat pranams to all my Shri Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and I offer my Dandavat pranams to all of the Vaishnavas and to all of the Vaishnavas. So yesterday, as I was trying to get in the mood of today's glorious remembrances, what did I do? I took the book that I was introduced to, not last year, 2 years ago, by Amal Krishna Prabhu. And what is that book? A True Servant a true master. About the life and the teachings of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj. And I can tell you that just reviewing only just the introduction, where Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj speaks about him. Actually, it's two parts. First part is an overview of his life, like a historical overview of his life. And then there's a second part, where he's actually lecturing on his disappearance day, approximately 1 or 2 years after he departed from this world. And such astonishing statements that he made. I really got, not for the first time, but I think a very powerful and deep impression of who this personality, Srila Vamana Goswami, is. Now, of course, all these years, since I first came on Brajmandala Trivikrama in 1994, so that's nearly 30 years now. But every single year I've been hearing the glories of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj. And hearing from the lips of personalities like our Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj directly speaking about him, and other personalities speaking about him. But yet, there's one thing that everyone needs to do if they want to meet a exalted, realized, Rupanuga, Mahapagwad Vaishnava. You haven't met him with your eyes. Most of the devotees haven't met him with their eyes. But how do you meet? With your ears. That's the only way. Huh? Vani. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote an English verse, and it was placed on the samadhi of Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri. For some time it was there. It is as follows. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. What does that mean? That means if someone says, oh, this Vaishnava died, he's gone. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying he reasons ill. It means he has no real understanding at all of the Vaishnava. He says he reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. When thou art living still in sound. You are living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live. They don't die to die. They die to live. Because they're eternal. They're only moving to another location, that's all. So the Vaishnavas die to live, and living, they try to spread the holy name around. They preach. They preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even if they're playing the role of a reclusive Vaishnava. Like, for example, who? Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Still, they preach. Every word from their mouth is filled with unlimited depth, unlimited meaning. So, the point is that if we want to meet these divine personalities, and this doesn't only apply to our contemporary Vaishnavacharyas and great devotees who lived in this modern era, but this applies to all of the divine personalities. Otherwise, why is there the greatest work of all Vedic knowledge called Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of all Shastras? These are the teachings of many, many divine personalities. Why are we reading that 5,000 years later? Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come and empower the 6 Goswamis, especially Rupa Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, etc.? Why? Oh, so that they would write books, that they would demonstrate by their life the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu didn't write books. He empowered them to write the books. You want to meet them? Yes, we want to meet them. Any devotee would want to meet Rupa Goswami. How are you going to meet him? Only by going deep into what he has given. In his teachings, in his writings. That's how we meet these personalities. There is no other way. We also meet them through the transcendental vibration of those who are followers of him. Namely what? Rupa Nuga Vaishnavas. Those who are realized Rupa Nuga Vaishnavas. We can meet Rupa Goswami through their sound vibration. So in the same way, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, he's describing Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, and it's amazing how he describes his life, his personality. And I learned new things that I didn't completely know. I knew to some extent, but not fully. When did I see Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj with my eyes? 30 years ago. Right here, sitting here in this temple room in 1994, at the end of our Braj Mandala Parikrama, which was the first time that I came on the Braj Mandala Parikrama with Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I was upstairs on the roof section here, and suddenly there was a personality who was speaking through the microphone, and I looked down, and there was this effulgent personality, Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj. I didn't know him at that time. When I came to the lotus feet of Srila Narayan Maharaj, I did not know about so much about Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, who's the Acharya, like this. But at that point, then it was pointed out to me, oh, Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj is the Acharya of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Oh, okay. Now, our Gurudev, Srila Narayan Maharaj, when we Westerners came to his lotus feet, he was our everything. He was our mother, our father, our guru, our guide, our deepest heart friend, our Siksha guru, everything he was and is. So we didn't have the opportunity to directly associate with Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj because we were always with him. We went on parikrama with him. We traveled around the world trying to assist him. But gradually over time, then Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he manifested the biography of Srila Bhakti-Pradhyana Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And in there was some information about Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, his life, and so forth. Anyway, the point I'm making is that as the time went by, more and more information came. And then the Rays of the Harmonist magazine manifested. And in that magazine, many times, over many years, there were articles written by Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj and also his lectures. So gradually we came to understand. I remember in Mayapur, at the Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and it was probably around the year 2000, 2001, something like that. Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj was brought there. Our Gurudev was also there, Srila Narayan Maharaj. And he was brought there and given a seat in front of the Samadhi. And then at that point, the devotees were kind of coaxing him to speak something. Please, speak. But he shook his head in agreement, yes. But actually he didn't end up speaking anything. Why? Because at that point, he was already going very deeply into his internal moods. And that was what manifested in his final few years on the planet. He was not outwardly speaking and interacting. Completely, deeply absorbed in his internal bhajan. I do remember one day when he was there in Devananda in Navadvipa. He was there every year, and usually he was in his room, and our Gurudev was in the next room. And so devotees in the morning time, they would come and they would circumambulate both rooms after the Mangalarti, like that, and Kirtan, and they would come and circumambulate and pay obeisances. So I got up the courage one day to approach Srila Vamana Maharaj, like a foolish, innocent child. Anyway, I came there, and he was sitting on his bed, asana, with a pillow, and his hands were there, chanting. So I bowed down in front of him, and then I sat up and I looked at him with folded palms. That, "Oh Maharaj, please give me your mercy." And you know what he responded? "Why only you?" I'm asking, "Please give me your mercy." And he said, "Why only you?" He said it in a very soft way. He said, "I am giving my mercy to everyone." And that was my only direct vocal exchange that I had with him while he was on the planet. And I understood, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj told us that every day Srila Vamana Maharaj, and this is in his final 2-3 years on the planet, every day Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj is chanting 2 lakhs of Harinam. And then we were told that the first lakh that he would chant of the 2, the first lakh is for all living entities. He's chanting that lakh for all living entities. And the second lakh for himself. So I'm just going to read a little bit. I'm not given much time because there's going to be other speakers. And I could talk for the next couple of hours easily by reading this nectar from this book. But I wanted to read, first of all, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj's final words in his article here. His final words. He says, "I lived with Pujapat Vamana Maharaj for almost 60 years. And I had the opportunity to closely observe him, and to understand him. He possessed all the qualities that are inherent in a Vaishnava. All the Vaishnava qualities he possessed. By nature, he was simple. He was grave, humble, tolerant, overflowing with Guru Nishtha. And he was inclined to serve the Vaishnavas. This situated him on the highest level of bhakti. His Guru Nishtha was astounding. His Guru Nishtha was astounding. He witnessed this. Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj witnessed this throughout that 60 years. He said his Guru Nishtha was astounding. With his life in his hands, he would step forward and he would offer himself in the service of Guru Maharaj. Guru Nishtha. Guru Nishtha is the backbone of bhakti. We've heard that so many times. And I have seen many Guru Sevaks in my life. Srila Narayan Maharaj is telling, I've seen many Guru Sevaks. But Pujapad Vamana Maharaja's service to Guru Maharaj with his body, his mind, his words, and sentiments was extraordinary. In this world, such a Guru Sevak is rare. We pray to him that while engaged in this eternal service of Sri Guru Dev and Sri Radha Krishna, because he's already departed from the planet, so Srila Narayan Maharaj is telling, we're praying to him that while he is engaged in the eternal service of Sri Guru Dev and Sri Radha Krishna, that he be merciful upon us all, so that we can also perform Guru Seva with Nishtha like him. And we can thus dedicate our lives to Sri Guru and his mission. So in the biography of Srila Vamana Maharaj, this short section of the beginning of this book, I just wanted to read a couple more. Here he has a description of the shy nature of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj. His shy nature, very shy. So he says, Pujapad Vamana Maharaj is of a very shy disposition. He hardly speaks to anyone. And when he does, he speaks very little. Once, I remember, we went preaching somewhere, and Guru Maharaj, meaning Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, he told Vamana Maharaj to give class. He was so anxious about how he was going to do so. He was so anxious, Vamana Maharaj, how he was going to give class. So he took a volume of Srimad Bhagavatam and he started reading a verse. His pronunciation was very beautiful, very beautiful. He then read the translation, and then he went on to read another verse, and that verse's translation, and somehow like this, he got through the class. Guru Maharaj saw this shy nature of his, and he tried to change him gradually. Vamana Maharaj was then in charge of publishing the Sri Gaudiya Patrika, and he did whatever was required to get it published. Then, Guru Maharaj told him to go preaching, and the responsibility for publication work was given to someone else. So now he's coaxing him. Vamana Maharaj was very sad. Why was he sad? Because that service that he had been doing for so many years was now being turned over to someone else, and he's being told to go out and preach. Right? So he felt that he was being sent away from the mat, from Chunchura. Although rather unhappy to go preaching, when he came back, he had changed completely. His nature had changed completely. Although he was unhappy to go preaching, but when he came back, he had changed completely. After that, he started giving lectures and explanations of Shastra that would go on for hours and hours. We can manage half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, maybe an hour we can manage, but he carries on explaining complex Tattva Siddhanta for hours. And in very simple, understandable language. Because he has such masterful command of the Bengali language and of the Gaudiya Siddhanta. And also, he has his own unique way of refuting the misconceptions of others. He does not refute people in a way that is so apparent to them that they realize that they're being refuted. No, he doesn't do it in that way. In a very polite and very humble language, he lays out every aspect of the issue, but people do not understand that he is refuting them. However, the way that people approach him, he reciprocates accordingly. I saw him in Chunchura one time, sitting with the neighborhood children, telling them a ghost story, an experience he had once traveling late at night in a remote region of the Chobis Pargana. You probably all have heard this story before, about the marriage of the ghosts. So Srila Vamana Maharaj is telling this to the little children, a ghost story. He had encountered a marriage party of ghosts in the middle of the night, in a desolate cremation ground. And he told the children that the only way that he had escaped the macabre festivities that night was because he had tulsi beads on his neck, and his japamala with him, and he was chanting Harinam loudly. Then the children would then come every day to hear stories like this. And another time, while out preaching somewhere, I saw Pujapat Vamana Maharaj sitting with some children. And this was after he had taken sannyas. And they were asking him, can you read palms? Children are asking him, can you read palms? Yes, he said. And they started showing him their hands. He said, look, your mind is restless, and you have stomach problems. You can actually tell this just by looking at a person, especially if they are really skinny. Your health is not good, you have a stomach problem, and you cannot focus on your studies. Your mind is restless. So just by looking at them, he could tell something about them. People would be impressed and they would say, he has mystic powers. So in this way, he interacts with everyone on their level. And if true spiritual seekers come, then he deals accordingly with them. So Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, it is said here that he was the biographer of Srila Bhakti-Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. He was his biographer. And he was also his flawless scribe. So, Pujapat Vamana Maharaj's power of memory is extraordinary, and he is a very eloquent speaker and writer. What a prolific writer he is. After Guru Maharaj's disappearance, Vamana Maharaj Ji compiled the history of Guru Maharaj's transcendental life. He had regularly noted down Guru Maharaj's activities, his pastimes, and so he compiled this information into a biography covering Guru Maharaj's entire life, from his appearance to his disappearance. It includes accounts of Guru Maharaj's accepting the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, of him serving the Gaudiya Math, of his Nishtha in Prabhupada, of his developing Mayapur, of his establishing Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and then preaching all over India, his parikramas of various dhams and tirthas. And the book also describes all the pilgrimages that we went on with Guru Maharaj to places like Jagannath Puri, Kashi Dham, Ayodhya Dham, and so forth. There's a whole list here. But most importantly, this book presents Guru Maharaj's conceptions in a truly marvelous way. For the articles in the Sri Gaudiya Patrika and the various books that Guru Maharaj wrote, he would give dictation just once, only once, and not have to review it. Why? Because Pujapat Vamana Maharaj Ji would take care of everything else. Vamana Maharaj would compile the Patrika, collecting material from various sources, Guru Maharaj would provide one essay, while Vamana Maharaj Ji would see to everything else. And in those days, there were no cassettes or recorders. So when Guru Maharaj would give lectures, Pujapat Vamana Maharaj would take notes. He could write very fast. And once, in a single month, in 30 days, Guru Maharaj gave lectures at over 40 different places. And whenever Guru Maharaj spoke, Vamana Maharaj would quickly note down what he was saying. All of those lectures were published in the Gaudiya Patrika. He would travel everywhere with Guru Maharaj. It would be the middle of Trivikrama. Guru Maharaj would be dictating to him non-stop without pausing. There would be so many people around, but Vamana Maharaj Ji would not miss a thing. So when I came, I did not know him or anyone else. I only knew Pujapat Madhusudan Maharaj Ji, whose name was Narottammananda Brahmachari at that time. So I would write to him and I would give him my letters to Guru Maharaj to respond to. Guru Maharaj would then have Vamana Maharaj write the responses. That is when Guru Maharaj started addressing me as Tiwari Ji. It was first by letter. And when I came to the Mat, I did not know Vamana Maharaj Ji, but I had received many letters from him on Guru Maharaj's behalf. So I knew only his handwriting. And when I left everything, and I came to the Mat in December of 1946, I arrived at the station in Navadvip, and I saw someone carrying a lantern looking for me. He came up to me and asked, "Are you Tiwari Ji?" And I said, "Yes, who are you?" He said, "I am the one who has been writing your letters on behalf of Guru Maharaj." Then I asked him, "But how did you know that I was coming? How did you know?" And then he said, "Guru Maharaj said you would be coming tonight," he said. I had not, however, written anything about coming. I had just left suddenly, arriving there in the middle of the night around 11 via Katwa and Bardhaman. And when I got there, I did not know where to go. That's when I saw him, and he took me to the Mat. And one time in Churchura, when he was entering some corrections after proofreading, his hand was badly injured in the press. There was no one else there to enter the corrections, and he was by himself. And he had started up the press and began feeding the paper into it when somehow the press crushed his hand. His finger was badly injured. And Guru Maharaj, with tears in his eyes, took him straight to Calcutta, to the medical college there. Guru Maharaj kept him there for 2 or 3 days for treatment and did not leave his side till he was better. Guru Maharaj was visibly shaken, disturbed. He was crying for him. Normally, Guru Maharaj was a very grave and composed person. He was never seen to be in such an emotional state. Another time also, when Pujapat Vamana Maharaj fell ill, Guru Maharaj dropped everything he was doing to take him to Shimla for treatment. And of course, we cannot exclude the mention of his title, Srila Vamana Maharaj. What was he? The encyclopedia of Gaudiya Siddhanta. Everyone knows him as that. And Pujapat Vamana Maharaj, he was a Shrutidhar. He would remember everything he hears. He only has to hear something once to remember it, even big long verses. The rest of us will recite a verse repeatedly, trying to memorize it, trying to grind it in, make it stick, and still we forget half the verse. I see that he is like the encyclopedia of the Gaudiya Mat Siddhanta. He can produce references from everywhere. He can recite Bhagavad Gita all the way through without pausing. He can do the same with Vedanta Sutra and all the main verses of Bhagavatam. So Guru Maharaj, once he took 5 sannyasis and 10 to 12 brahmacharis preaching in Assam. We came to the village of Baripada, which was largely populated by the disciples of Shankar Dev, who had written the so-called 13th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the last thing that I'll mention, because there's other speakers. This is interesting. I didn't know this. So they went to this village, Baripada, in Assam. So there were some disciples of a person who was named Shankar Dev, who had written the so-called 13th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. His followers worshipped Bhagavan Sri Krishna, but they also ate meat, fish, and other such foodstuffs. So in a large gathering, Guru Maharaj declared Guru Maharaj declared that the mouths of those who perform bhajan of Shri Krishna while eating meat and fish and drinking alcohol are like sewers full of stool and urine. Who said this? Bhakti Pragyana Keshav Maharaj. So, upon hearing this, Shankar Dev's many followers began to attack the devotees on stage with sticks and stones. It was chaos. People were scattering, but Guru Maharaj remained still and calm. If you want to fight, he said gravely, we can also take up sticks and stones, but you should calm down and listen. Those with questions or doubts are welcome to present them. Then in the course of the following discussion, the followers of Shankar Dev declared Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be an ordinary person, not an incarnation of Bhagavan, and they requested evidence of his supreme position. They wanted evidence. Guru Maharaj then motioned to Pujapad Vamana Maharaj, who promptly stood up, quoted around 35 verses, one after another, starting with Krishna Varnam to Sa Krishna and Channa Avatar, to prove that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is indeed Bhagavan. The audience was astonished, and they were silenced. So in this way, the preaching program turned out to be quite a success. And one special quality that Srila Vamana Maharaj possessed, he never praises himself. Never praises himself. We, somehow or other, we find a way to praise ourselves, but I have never seen this in him. If I am present, he will not speak. He will just keep telling me, you speak. And I will say, no, please, you speak. The audience has to just sit there for 10 minutes, watching us go back and forth like this. If I say something wrong when I speak, he will not correct me. Even after the class is over, he will not say anything. Once, when we were at the Shyamasundar temple in Vrindavan, I said that Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan had established the temple, but it's Sri Shyamananda Prabhu's temple. Only several days later, he finally mentioned that this temple had actually been established by Shyamananda Prabhu, not Baladev Vidyabhushan. So he will never directly correct or contradict me, and whenever I am with him, he will always ask me to speak. He has this manner of giving respect to me and to everyone. This is the nature of a Vaishnava, to always give honor to others. And although Pujapad Vamana Maharaj is the Acharya, he is completely devoid of the pride of being an Acharya. And throughout his life, he has always remained under the guidance of his god brothers. So during Navadvip Trivikrama, before he gives initiations, he comes to Srila Trivikrama Maharaj and to me and he says, "Oh Maharaj, please give me permission to give initiations." I once sent Pujapad Vamana Maharaj a letter requesting him to come to Mathura because many people there wanted to take Harinam and Diksha initiation. And he wrote back saying, "I told you long ago, and I am telling you again, that you yourself should, without hesitation, give Harinam and Diksha initiation. My health is not good. If you do this, it will save me from having to travel, and the preaching there will not be hindered." So how rare it is to find a Vaishnava Acharya like him, who, with trust and magnanimity, instructs his godbrother to give Harinam and Diksha. These days, so many quarrels take place over this issue. And Pujapad Vamana Maharaj, he was also very discreet in how he gives money to people. No one knows what or how much he gives or to whom. And after Guru Maharaj's disappearance, I was doing some renovation work in Sri Keshav Gorimat. We were not receiving many donations as we were not really acquainted with anyone in Mathura at that time. So I did not know how I was going to manage. Pujapad Vamana Maharaj found out, and without telling anyone, very discreetly, he gave 5,000 rupees toward the project. That was how the renovation started, and then slowly, we were able to do all this. The pranami comes to him, but he does not advertise what he gives and to whom. You should give with one hand in such a way that your other hand does not know. And do not even ask about his affection for his disciples. He has so much affection for them. He speaks so affectionately with each of them that each disciple feels he loves him or her the most. He loves them so much. I do not know how to love so much. He really knows how to love. And though he has this affection for his disciples, he is still very detached. So, in this way, in this wonderful book, which everyone should read because it's available in Hindi, yes, also, or only in English. It hasn't been translated yet. Okay, you're going to have to learn English to read this book. A true servant, a true master. It's so wonderful. I read about 3 or 4 letters last night, and let me tell you, I've never seen letters like his by any acharya. The way he expresses himself, so humble, so self-demeaning. You know, my last thing I'll say in his glories is that in one of those letters he was writing to a person who was named Urukram Das Arikari. Don't know who that is. Anyway, he was writing to him, and it was quite long. It was like a 4 or 5 page letter. But in that letter, he mentioned something about his nose being broken. Did you ever hear that pastime before? I never heard that before. He mentioned about his nose being broken, and then he mentioned something about comparing that to Suparnaka's nose being cut off and so forth. And he's like self-demeaning. I can't quite remember exactly how he expressed it, okay? But then, it was mentioned there, a description of how that his nose was broken. And there was one devotee who was, I think, a little bit elderly devotee, didn't say his name, but he was kind of going blind. He was kind of going blind. And he was given the duty to guard the prasadam plate that was being saved for Srila Vamana Maharaj, right? And he was guarding it. He had a stick. Why? Guarding it from who? From the dogs that would come. If he wasn't there, the dogs would come and they would eat it. So, when Srila Vamana Maharaj came, very quietly he just sat down, and he didn't speak anything, he didn't say anything, and he started to take prasadam in a very deep internal mood, taking prasadam. But this blind devotee heard something, and he assumed that this was dogs who were eating off the plate. And you know what he did? He came with a stick, and he went wham! Right in the face of Srila Vamana Maharaj, and his nose was broken. You ever heard that? And Srila Vamana Maharaj made very light of it, that he mentioned that later that devotee's eyes were treated. And he only joked about it, but it was very severe. Can you imagine? If that happened to us, can you imagine how you would respond? Not in a humble way. No, no, no. You would get up and you would probably use that stick on that person. Okay. But anyway, these are just some few of all the astonishing qualities, pastimes, teachings, everything. Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj is topmost Rupanuga Acharya in our line. He's in that category. And there was more, which if I had more time, I'd read it, how Srila Narayan Maharaj told that in his final days, he was only expressing his moods of very deep Rupanuga, transcendental meditations in his heart. That's all. Absorbed 24 hours a day in that way. So Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, Srila Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj, just for 2 minutes I'm telling that Srila Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj, first time that I met him was in that same year, 1994, at the beginning of Kartik, in Mathura. And many of us Western devotees were really coming for the first time to be with Srila Narayan Maharaj on the Braj Mandala Parikrama. So when we came there on the first day of Kartik, the morning, and it happens to be the disappearance day, Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. We didn't really even, maybe we knew that, but when we came into the temple room there were two personalities sitting side by side. Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj and another very stout person sitting next to him. So Srila Gurudev, first of all, said his Mangala Charana. And he said, today we are very fortunate because my very intimate godbrother, Srila Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj, is now present here in this assembly with us. And I just want to tell you, to us, he's speaking in English to us. He says, you should not be afraid of him. He looks very fierce, but actually inside he is so soft. And then he requested Srila Trivikrama Maharaj to be the first person to speak. Srila Trivikrama Maharaj began to say his pranams to his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. And as he was saying his pranams, he completely broke down, weeping, helplessly weeping, like a child. Then we understood, wow, what kind of disciple he is. And then he began to condemn himself. He began to condemn himself openly. I have never done any service for my Guru Maharaj. I have failed. I have not done service to him. So he spoke very short. And after that, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj told us, you should understand that this is his Vaishnava humility, but he has done so much service. So there's a nice little book. It's called, what's the title of that little book? Yeah, A Humble Servant, A Humble Servant. And you should read that book, because it's all, the whole qualities and activities of Srila Trivikrama Maharaj are there. But I would like to speak more, but the time has now gone. So I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of our most worshipable Acharya Dev, Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj on his divine disappearance day, and our most worshipable Srila Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj on his divine disappearance day. They both disappeared on the same day, a couple of years apart. And our Gurudev also wanted to disappear on that day during Kartik in 2010. But for some reason, Krishna kept him. But what did he do? In Jagannath Puri, he waited, knowingly. No one was informing Gurudev what day it is the Ekadasi day, this or that, or tomorrow is the appearance day of Srila Vamana. No one was informing Gurudev intentionally. But he disappeared on the appearance day of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, proving that the three personalities, as you already heard from Parameshwara, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they maintained this Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti flawlessly for decades. And they were so united. So we should understand, they were the perfect examples of completely selfless, egoless, self-demeaning Vaishnavas. And so I offer my Dandavat pranams to their lotus feet on this day of their divine disappearance. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Tadiya Tirubhag Mahamahotsav Titi ki jai, Gaur Premanande.